Child, let go of what chains you, your pain, your guilt, your need to be right. Release the old wounds you keep nursing like pets. You are not what hurt you. Let go and rise. You are already flying. You just forgot. Don't carry dead weight when you were born to dance. Perfection is a polished cage dressed in gold. It sings sweet promises of acceptance, applause, and admiration, but once you step inside, you'll find it locks from the outside. You see, striving to be perfect is not the same as striving to be better. One invites growth, the other demands performance. One is human, the other is illusion. You weren't made to be flawless. You were made to be full of feelings, full of questions, full of wonder, full of laughter that cracks open the silence, and tears that come uninvited in the middle of your strength. Perfection has no room for that. It's a narrow script that tells you who to be, what to say, how to sit, how to smile. But you, child, were born to improvise, to move through the world with your own rhythm, not someone else's sheet music. The need to be perfect is taught. Maybe it was whispered to you in the silence of disapproval, or written in red on school papers, or wrapped up in a compliment that only came when you performed just right. Over time, that need roots itself deep in your bones. You start to check yourself before the world can. You start shrinking to fit in tight spaces. You edit your truth in real time so others stay comfortable. But I tell you now, no truth that needs trimming is real truth at all. You try to hold it all together, the smile, the schedule, the silence. But holding together and falling apart can look mighty similar from a distance. The need to be perfect is heavy. It doesn't just weigh on your shoulders, it settles in your spirit. It exhausts your joy, it silences your creativity, and it makes you forget how beautiful a mess can be. Real life, real beauty, it's found in the cracks, in the forgotten notes and the stammered speech, in the food that burned a little but was cooked with love, in the unfiltered laughter, the sudden honesty, the kindness that wasn't rehearsed. That's where the soul lives. That's where your becoming begins. When you let go of being perfect, you make room for being real, and when you're real, you're free. No one claps for perfection when they see it up close. People don't connect with spotless, they connect with story. They want to know what tried to break you and what made you stay. They want to feel the tremble in your truth, not the gloss of your pretending. The cracks are not flaws, they are entry points. That's how light gets in. That's how healing gets out. So give yourself permission to be unfinished. Let your flaws breathe. Let your silence speak. Show up as you are, not as you think you should be. Because every time you step into a room as your whole self, you're teaching someone else they can too. And child, what a lesson that is. Not polished, not perfect, but present, whole, unapologetically true. You don't owe this world perfection. You owe it your presence, your peace, your power, and none of that requires a spotless mirror. It requires a clear heart. Let go. You're already enough. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and waiting for someone else to feel the pain. It simmers quietly, hidden behind smiles and small talk, yet it steals from you daily. A grudge doesn't ask for permission. It plants itself in your chest, curls around your joy, and whispers bitterness into even the sunniest mornings. And if you're not careful, it starts to define you, not by what you've done, but by what someone else did. You were never meant to carry that kind of weight. Anger has its place. It's the body's way of saying, I was hurt. But a grudge, that's anger that has overstayed its welcome. That's pain you've started to water and weed, turning it into a garden of thorns where nothing soft can grow. What was once a moment becomes a monument. You start measuring yourself against what they did. You begin to see yourself through the lens of your wound instead of your worth. Some say forgiveness is weakness. I say it's thunder in stillness. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was right. It doesn't excuse, erase, or forget. No, forgiveness is not a favor for the offender. It's a medicine for the offended. It is you saying, I will no longer let this define my spirit. Because the truth is, when you clutch the past, your hands are too full to receive the future. Letting go doesn't make you smaller, it makes you lighter. Grudges will make a home in your thoughts. They will replay the scene 100 times. What you should have said, what they should have done. And in all that replay, you are living that pain again and again, long after it ended. Why should your present be taxed for someone else's mistake? Why should your laughter carry the echo of that one betrayal? Some wounds need time, some need tears, but all need release. You're not weak for hurting, you're human. You're not foolish for trusting, you're faithful. But don't let that pain convince you that bitterness is your only protection. Don't wear your grudge like armor, because armor keeps out the harm, yes, but it keeps out the love too. Release that name. Release that moment. You don't have to forget, but you don't have to relive. Let the lessons stay and let the heaviness go. Choose not to rehearse the injustice every time you see their face or hear that song. Choose your peace, because there's freedom on the other side of forgiveness. There's softness that doesn't mean surrender. There's power that doesn't need to shout. Every grudge is a story paused. You have the power to right the rest. Not with revenge, not with resentment, but with renewal. You can decide what gets the final word in your story. Let it be your voice, not their action. Let it be your healing, not their harm. Let it be your freedom, not your fury. You are not what they did to you. You are what you rise from. You are what you release. You are what you refuse to carry any longer. So breathe, child, cry if you must, but then open your hands, open your heart. You deserve to walk unburdened. You deserve peace that doesn't ask permission. You deserve a life that's not built around what broke you. Let the grudge go. Set yourself free. Control often dresses itself in careful planning, polite smiles, and long to-do lists. It hides in the way you rehearse conversations, the way you tighten your jaw when something shifts, the way your hands twitch when someone else takes the lead. But underneath all that effort, all that order, all that perfect timing, there is fear. A quiet, trembling fear that whispers, if I don't hold it together, everything will fall apart. And child, what a lonely, exhausting lie that is. Fear has a clever way of disguising itself. It doesn't always shout or shake. Sometimes it stands still and straight, blending into the background of busy lives. It convinces you that if you could just plan more, predict more, manage more, control more, then maybe you won't get hurt. Maybe they'll stay. Maybe you'll be safe. But safety built on control is not safety. It's a cage, and you are both the prisoner and the guard. Letting go of control doesn't mean letting go of responsibility. It means loosening your grip on the things you were never meant to hold. Other people's choices, the outcome of every situation, the version of you the world prefers. When you try to control everything, you don't avoid pain, you just delay it. You don't dodge chaos, you invite anxiety. Because life will do what it does. People will leave, plans will break, storms will come. You cannot organize the ocean. You cannot schedule the wind. There is courage in release. There is strength in surrender. But we've been taught to equate control with power and surrender with weakness. We've been told that if we let go, we'll lose ourselves. But I tell you this, you are not the one falling apart. You are the one holding on too tightly to things that no longer serve your becoming. There is more wisdom in flowing than there is in forcing. A river never begs the rocks to move. It finds its way around, still singing, still going. Fear wants certainty. Control demands guarantees. But life was never written in straight lines. It moves in spirals, in pauses, in unexpected turns. And your job, precious one, is not to master every moment. Your job is to meet each moment with honesty, with presence, with open palms. That's where the beauty is. That's where the peace begins. You cannot control how others see you. You cannot control how long they stay or how they love or whether they understand your heart. But you can choose to stay soft anyway. You can choose to trust the process even when you do not understand it. That is not weakness. That is grace. So when you feel the urge to tighten your grip, to raise your voice, to fix what isn't yours to fix, pause. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Ask yourself, is this control or is this care wrapped in fear? Then breathe. Let the fear rise. Let it pass. And trust that you will still be standing even when things don't go as planned. You were never made to be the architect of every outcome. You were made to show up with courage, to try, to love, to fail sometimes, and to rise again. You are not here to control the wind. You are here to spread your arms and learn how to fly. Comparison is a thief dressed in soft hands. It doesn't shout when it enters your mind. It slips in quietly, whispering as you scroll, as you listen, as you walk into a room. It's there when you hear their name, see their smile, measure their success against your silence. It's a quiet ache that starts in your chest and settles in your spirit, telling you that you're behind, you're lacking, you're not enough. But you are not here to be a reflection of someone else's story. You are here to live your own. And when you spend your days looking sideways, you forget how to look within. You begin to shrink your own light just to make someone else's shine seem less blinding. You begin to doubt the strength of your roots just because their flowers bloomed early. But trees don't rush because the others grew tall first. The sun never apologizes for rising later than the stars. We were never meant to be copies. The world already has them. What it needs is your difference, your tone, your twist, your thread in the great human quilt. But comparison convinces you that your thread is too dull, your rhythm too slow, your pace too awkward. It lies, because there's no version of you that isn't needed, no timeline but your own, and no finish line but the one you define. Comparison is rooted in fear, fear of being overlooked, unloved, unworthy. But that fear isn't truth. It's just noise. And when you let it lead, you forget what's already blooming inside you. You miss the joy of your own becoming. You measure your worth with someone else's ruler, never realizing that their measure has nothing to do with your purpose. You weren't built to win someone else's race. You were made to walk your path with grace, not speed. Someone else's beauty is not your absence. Their gift is not your deficiency. Their rising is not your falling. There is enough space in this world for all of us to shine. Light doesn't compete. It coexists. It expands. So why should you dim your glow just to match someone else's outline? Why should you swallow your own voice just to sound more familiar? The truth is, when you release comparison, you reclaim joy. Joy in your small steps, joy in your mess, joy in your learning. You begin to see your life not as lacking, but as unfolding. You stop chasing someone else's reflection and start becoming your own. You give yourself permission to take your time, to find your rhythm, to love what you have, even while reaching for more. You are allowed to celebrate others without questioning yourself. You are allowed to admire without envy. But the moment admiration turns to ache, take a step back. Ask yourself what you've forgotten to love in you. Ask yourself what dream you've buried while watching someone else's bloom. Then come back to yourself. Come back to the root, to your own voice, your own timing, your own becoming. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not lacking. You are living. You are learning. And every breath you take outside the grip of comparison is a breath closer to freedom. So exhale the lies. Inhale the truth. You are enough right here without needing to measure up to anyone. Keep your eyes on your own light. It knows exactly where to go. Self-doubt is a shadow that follows you even in the light. It doesn't always shout. It whispers, quiet, constant, wearing down your spirit like water against stone. It asks questions no one else hears. Are you sure you belong? What if you're not good enough? What if they find out you're faking it? And you answer without words. You pull back. You hesitate. You shrink. You let the fear speak louder than your gift. But child, your soul was not made to whisper. You were not born to second guess your every step. You are not here to apologize for your existence, for your voice, for your truth. That doubt inside you, it wasn't born with you. It was planted by fear, by failure, by someone's careless words or silent disappointment. Over time, you started to believe it, started to wear it like a second skin, but it was never yours to carry. You've questioned yourself so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to trust your own voice. But you are more than your hesitation. You are more than the echo of someone else's opinion. And every time you doubted yourself but showed up anyway, that was courage, that was resilience, that was proof that the voice inside you, though shaken, is not silent. You see, self-doubt doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. It means you care, but you must not let it lead. Because the longer you let doubt drive, the farther you drift from who you are. You begin to ask for permission when you were born with purpose. You begin to edit your dreams so they fit someone else's comfort. But your dreams are sacred. They are not up for debate. They are not waiting for a vote of approval. You must remember, no one else sees the world quite like you do. No one else has your blend of flaws and fire, your rhythm and reason, your beauty and becoming. And when you doubt your place in the world misses something only you can give. Self-doubt dims the very thing it pretends to protect. You do not have to feel ready to begin. You just have to begin. Confidence isn't a requirement, it's a result. It grows with every step, every stumble, every try. Speak, even if your voice shakes. Stand, even if your knees tremble. Write, even if your hands are unsure. Build the bridge between fear and faith, one choice at a time. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to be bold, to be unfinished, but moving forward. And every time you rise above your doubt, even just a little, you're rewriting your story. You're proving to yourself that the voice inside you matters, that your truth is worthy, that your becoming is not defined by your questioning, but by your choosing. So trust the process, trust the seed, trust the version of you that exists beyond fear, the one who keeps showing up, who keeps growing, who keeps reaching for light, even on the cloudy days. She's in there. She's already blooming. Let the doubt fall away. You don't need its permission. You never did. You are already enough. You are already powerful. You are already the answer. Let go of what keeps you small. Let go of the inner critic that never had the full story and walk forward, imperfect, unfinished, unshaken. Your voice was meant to be heard, and your light, child, was meant to be seen. Not everything you start is meant to be finished. Not every path is meant to lead you home. There are things, people, habits, and dreams that once fed your spirit, but now only feed your fear. And holding on, just because you've held on for so long, is not strength. It's resistance to your own becoming. Growth requires space. It requires breath, light, and room to stretch. But you cannot stretch while clinging to what's too small for you now. You cannot grow while rooted in soil that no longer nourishes you. Some relationships are like shoes that no longer fit, still familiar, still worn, but blistering your walk. Some jobs, some habits, some versions of yourself, comfortable but confining. The longer you stay, the more you shrink. The more you settle, the more you forget what reaching ever felt like. There is nothing noble about staying stuck. Loyalty is a beautiful thing, but when it comes at the cost of your peace, your purpose, your power, it becomes a weight instead of a vow. You are not obligated to remain in rooms where you must hide pieces of yourself to be welcomed. You are not required to stay planted in places that refuse to water you. But walking away is hard. We attach meaning to the familiar. We tell ourselves stories. It's not that bad. Maybe it'll change. I've already invested so much. But time spent is not a reason to spend more. Just because something once gave you joy doesn't mean it's still giving you life. And just because you've put down roots doesn't mean you're not allowed to be repotted somewhere else. You were not made to sit still in a space that keeps you silent. You were not created to keep repeating a version of life that no longer honors who you're becoming. Growth is often disguised as discomfort. And sometimes the discomfort you feel is your spirit asking you to move. Listen to it. It knows when something no longer fits, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. There is courage in walking away, in releasing what was, in closing a chapter even if the ending still feels unwritten. And yes, it may feel like failure at first, like giving up. But there is a difference between quitting and choosing better, between surrender and self-preservation. You don't have to hate something to leave it. You just have to love yourself enough to say, this is no longer mine. Sometimes the most sacred act of self-love is letting go, not with bitterness, not with regret, but with gratitude for what was and open arms for what's next. You are allowed to outgrow people, places, and patterns. You are allowed to shed. That's how trees survive, by letting go of what no longer serves their season. So ask yourself, what am I holding on to out of habit, not hope? What am I afraid to lose, even though I've already lost my joy in it? And then release. Make room. Your next season requires it. Your evolution demands it. You cannot fly while gripping the branch that no longer feeds you. You don't need permission to choose yourself. You don't need proof that something's broken in order to leave it behind. If it no longer grows you, if it no longer stretches you toward light, if it no longer feeds your fire, it's okay to walk away. Because life is not about staying, it's about becoming. And becoming means knowing when to move, when to shed, and when to say, I deserve more than just surviving. I deserve to grow. Letting go is not loss. It is liberation. Each thing you release, perfection, grudges, control, comparison, self-doubt, and the weight of what no longer grows you, frees a part of you that was waiting to breathe. This is not about erasing who you've been. It's about making space for who you are becoming. You are not a vessel meant to carry every burden. You are a garden meant to bloom, to stretch, to evolve.